OBS alt and a streamer, especially a Dota one, is tilted, it's...
So, Quatsch und jetzt 50? Ja, wie gesagt, ich wurde gerade nicht angegriffen. Und Dankeschön für den Resub. Thank you.
I feel like I have to be perfect. There's something about fear that pushes me.
Hi, let's start over. Hi guys. Again, I think I figured out what the problem is with my audio. So my Stream Deck, I'm using one of these Stream Deck things, and it's not configured properly because I initially had a workflow that when I press a button certain things happen, and I was fiddling with OBS to do other stuff, so it was kind of clashing with the settings. So that's why sometimes I get muted, and other times I don't hear background music. So the reason for today's delayed start is because of audio. And like I mentioned on the Twitter feed, pro tip number 1: do not update any software before a stream. Windows, OBS, whatever you do not update it. I thought I was a superhero doing it, and that just led me onto many issues. But anyways, that's sorted out now. Hopefully, I just want to be plugging and playing and having this thing work. So we get there in a point. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the show. My name is Fani Renders. If you haven't seen my stuff before, very informal stream about code. Trying to do some live coding thing. I'm not as good as other people like Jeff Fritz or Eli Face out there on the Twitch streams, but I'm learning every day. So today I was thinking of, obviously don't have a specific subject, but as you can see in the little title I used to have, let's maybe just switch my screen. There we go. As you can see, little title here down below. Today I was thinking of trying out Razor components, the server-side Razor components. So for those that are not familiar with that, let's quickly do a quick tour on what a Razor side of the server-side Razor components are. And also, which is cool, is I've updated, be part of the cool gang. I've also updated to, or installed rather, the Microsoft Edge Canary build. So I'm one of those guys that want to be on the Edge itself. So it's working quite well. I've noticed some memory usage that's way more than Chrome, but in any case, we'll get there. Also, I don't get to see if I can figure out how to set the default search engine to Google. But in any case, Razor server side components. Let's see. So they've blogged about this 27th of March, which is quite early, or recent rather. You have two hosting models for Razor, or for Blazor rather. Let me maybe stop there. So Razor Components is the new name for server-side Blazor. So if you ever heard server-side Blazor before, Razor Components is the successor to that. And if I do fall out of the stream, let me just see. Sometimes my quality goes up and down, but we'll also sort that out in a while. So you can either host Blazor in the client side using WebAssembly, or you can do the server-side hosting model. This is quite interesting because how it works, it's basically running Blazor on the server side and pumping the HTML through using SignalR to the browser. So technically it's a SPA that's rendered on the server side, which is quite cool. Let's just maybe skip these some of these songs. Hopefully this song is good enough. Alright, so let's get into the flow of things. So I'm going to be experimenting with this, and how I'm going to be doing it is using VS 2019, brand new VS 2019. I've decided to install that version because we're going to be partying on this IDE for today. And I was thinking, we have a website called SDNcast. It's a Dutch website. I also can maybe show how it looks like. If you go over to sdncast.nl, this is a very basic website showing all our videos and stuff of our Thursday's webcast. But this was initially based on the ASP.NET Community Stand-Ups template that you get from initially. So we just git cloned it, changed it, and it's basically ASP.NET Core application. But I want to see if I can get this onto the new hosting model for Razor components, just to see what's the effort like, you know. Okay, so here we are. We have cloned, and I've already made a branch in Visual Studio called New Hip, for instance, and this is where we're going to be doing the new hip stuff. So the current solution is here. So maybe what we should do is actually I want to create a new project, right? So are we doing it as a new SDN cast or just SDN cast? Maybe just, what can we do? What can we do? And Martin van Stam, welcome to the show. Very basic, highly complicated, sophisticated. You're right. Sophisticated. That's the word I was looking for. Couldn't find it because my audio. If you guys feel that I do not come across very well, just pop me a chat or pop me a tweet or something, and we can speak about it. We can maybe see if we can answer some questions along the way regarding this. I'm myself not an expert in Blazor or in Razor server-side components. I'm not really a front-end guy, really, but this seems fun. So let's see how far we get. I know Jeff Fritz is actually up for streaming 11 o'clock CET time. That's about 10 o'clock GMT, I think. So we will try not to go on for too long and maybe just go over to his stream and see what he's doing now. Right, so what I want to do is actually let's move this to a different, let's call this old, and we can have a new one. I wonder if we can it's a bit, let's just start simple. So add a new project. Let's see. Let's go on this journey of a developer doing server-side Blazor. So this is quite cool. This is the new Visual Studio dialog, and it asks me what kind of project. So obviously it's a web project, so I'm just going to choose that one, and we're going to be doing SDNcast.nl. Okay, that's fine. Create. So see, duplicate name. Right, do I need to rename the other one then? Can I do that? Probably. Let's call this old. That should work, right? Old.sdncast.nl. Let's try this again. New project. Web. Next. sdncast.nl. Alright, so this is cool. I only have 2.1, 2.1 and 2.2 installed. That's rather concerning because I just installed 3. But in case, let's see if we can install 3. So we would need .NET Core Preview 3 to make this work, right? So we go to dot.net, and then somewhere we must be able to download the preview bits, which is on top somewhere. Great. So while that's doing its 104 megs of goodness, maybe it's a good thing to maybe not be in Visual Studio. Okay, so that's downloading. I thought I had it. Actually, I think I do have it before. It's a bit weird because if I go .NET version, see, I do have it. Now, if I just pause that, because anything that's downloading is now messing with my stream, so I'm not going to download anything. Right, so what do we need for this thing to work here? Because blah blah blah, server side, .NET new Razor components. Do I need that? Most probably. Cool. Let's see. So we need .NET new Razor components. Is it a thing? No, we need to install that template first, I would say. Razor components, not even here. Use the ASP.NET Razor components template. Okay, but if it's not installed, what do I do? Maybe if I just run the setup again. Maybe override something. So I see I've got a big of a dip in my stream because of that useless thing. I need to figure out how I'm going to be stabilizing my downloads. And obviously it's Windows, now we're working on it. How hard can it be to open a window downloads folder? Really? That was called what? .NET SDK. .NET SDK, this one, right? So it's should be this one. Repair. So hopefully it will do something to Visual Studio 2019 now. Just repair this. That's a bit silly. So far the experience is a bit noir. I like the new UI though, but so while that's in that's busy installing, are there any questions? I've got a few viewers on one or two currently watching this. Won't you say hi in the chat for me, and maybe we can engage in something? There might be a delay in the chat. Also, one of the reasons why I tried to update OBS was because of the Twitch integration it gets. I've got this now nice chat in OBS that shows me like a chat instead of having me opening up a new window, etc, etc, etc. It's taking its while to install. Okay, repair completed. Now hopefully this thing is now still working. I wonder if I go .NET new, will this show me? Will this show me configuration for? Yeah, there's Razor components. Okay, so Razor components should be working now, right? If Visual Studio is aware of the preview. Maybe that was one of the problems. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's create a new project. It's a web app. It's called sdncast.nl. I don't even know if that's good practice to include a top-level domain name in your project. This looks still the same. That's a bit silly. Do I need like a preview of this, or because according to this, fine. Looks like it will only work in the CLI, which is a bit dodgy. So where am I? SDNcast. There's a solution there, but I don't really want it there. Okay, so let's do a, let's rename this to alt, and we do a cmd.net new Razor components. Will that work? So it's now creating a project the same as mine, of course. It's not exactly what I want. Let's cancel this because it's really like not what I want. Let's create a new folder and call this then SDNcast. Okay, now in here we can most probably call that okay. So it's quite interesting how this will work now, because okay, so let's open this separately from the solution. Of course I want to use 2019. I probably don't have to use 2019, right? Alright, so this is Razor components. So far it looks pretty normal. So let's start it up and see. Yeah, okay. Yes, install all certificates, please. Okay, so now that means that again. This thing just stops. Application executor does not exist. Okay, well, that's dodgy. The target process, whatever. You know what the thing is? I think there's something still wrong with this preview. Or that might be me, I don't know. So if we say .NET run, and it does not run. What's happening? Things not working. See all these things. It's not working. .NET restore. Is that even working? Is the restore even working? Yeah, there we go. .NET run. That doesn't work, does it? Nope. So many issues. Why do we have issues? Okay, now it's becoming alive. Okay, so now if I go to 5001, let's maybe open a new browser here. Correct, so we have that. Right, so this is supposed to be a Blazor single page application that is driven by Razor components. Don't know why this other one thing is not working. This one. Probably because it doesn't know about the runtime. It's so slow, eh? As well. And now all of a sudden the things light up. Any case, that's opening up good old Edge. Now the reason why I'm actually highlighting something is it's a good way of me seeing if I click and the highlight goes away, it goes back to the server. Which is quite cool. So if it does not go away, it's a spark kind of thing. So let's see if we can drag this project that I've just created no, over to my Visual Studio one that I've created here as an existing application. And go to dev, go to SDNcast, that's that one, and just add that one in there. For now, let's just get this thing working, right? So let's explore what's inside of the program. Oh, clicked wrongly. In the program, so here we create a host. Yeah, it's a normal host. It's a host builder, not a web host builder. Great, and then it uses startup, which is MVC, all the stuff we know. Add Newton sub JSON, and then add Razor components, and that's singleton. Okay, and if we compare that to our old one, we also have components, but that's not Razor component. Is that? Interesting. It sucked in those things. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen. Let's go back here because this thing This thing is not working. Suppose modified some things. So let's edit that project. See, old is pointing to new one kind of thing, so just maybe make that old. And everything else should stay the same and should go away. As per normal. Ignore. Let's, can we close the solution? Unload project. Reload project could not be completed. You know, so many things. One job. Ah, look at that. Visual Studio 16. This was built in Visual Studio 2015, I think. There drops my thing again. This is crazy. Okay, that works. Let's add that existing project again. Okay, so that works there. So we should be able to get, yeah, that's better. That's much better. Okay. Okay, so we have pages and all that kind of things. Ultimately, yeah, there drops my latency dropped again. Let's see, so what we kind of needing is these tag helpers. Okay, so layout is main layout, which is probably in here. This one. Okay, so what we can do is steal the layout from here, which was this one. I think. It seems a bit bulky and it seems a bit slow. Okay, so hosting environment. And I need a deployment environment. Why is that injected? I see, that's for certain environments. Okay, so that's under the services. Deployment environment. Okay. So I suppose we can create a whenever that is ready, we can dunk that into services here. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, cool. Render footer, render post. Okay. So we have a index page. This one has a page model. Okay. which is quite cool, but you know, I think Razor Pages does not have a model. Or does it? Can it have a model? Let's copy it and see what happens. Boom, I guess. So if we replace, well, that's page. Okay. So if we say that's the page, what will happen if I remove this guy and add a razor here? Okay, I guess that will happen. Oh, okay, I need to do that then, right? So is that even a thing? Can I do that? I wonder if I even can, instead of doing this copy thing, yeah, maybe just copy it and reference the old one and see what happens. Because if I just run this now, it will break horribly. I'm not even compiling. Yep. The current SDK does not support HTK3. Now, how do you do that then? I know somewhere you must be able to somewhere here in .NET with options or tools or seen here .NET Core. Aha, use, that's a pro tip. So if you go .NET in your options, you click .NET Core, you can say use previews of the .NET Core SDK. So that will allow us to have, not that one, it's not listed here, right? But it won't break now. Or will it? Duplicate content items were included. The SDK. Okay, so if that's not a thing, can I still compile it? Duplicate content items. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. So if we clean, okay, so it says duplicate items were found, but what do they mean? Edit. probably take this out because it's already included. Right, so will that complain about that then, or that looks like it's building. It's doing something at least. Failed. So 25 errors. Okay, so I think I know what this problem is. Well, no, I don't know. If I do that and I say Razer, will probably ask me here. Well, that's excluded, that's fine. Okay, that will go away for a while. Now I need iLive show details service and a show service. Okay, I was actually looking at it, but fine. No, that wasn't open, so let's open it and close the rest. Okay, so what do we want? We want the iHost service, or the iLive, iShow service. Why is this happening? I don't want to. Okay, iObject mapper. Okay, app settings. Oh my gosh, is that a? Where is it coming from? App settings. There. Okay, so if we take those over. App settings obviously not, so app settings needs to stay there. Might take a long time, come on. Okay, so that kind of resolves all these issues here. Models. Now, so I need a show model. So most probably can take out all these models over to here, right? So then that will light up. Yes. Okay, so now we have 12 issues instead of 24, which was quite cool. Alright, now script tags should not be placed inside components because they cannot update it dynamically. To fix this, move script tag into the HTML. Okay, so what we'll do is not do this. What is Control K? That's what I've done. Right, that's cool. So Control K C, and then the script. Oh my gosh, Control K C. What else? There's so many JavaScripts here that we need to port. Okay. Deal with that later. What's on top here? Okay, so index model. Why does it say cannot be? Let's try build it again. To see what's happening. 21 errors again. Okay, so show list. Where does show list come from? It's probably... Alright, let's search for it. Show list, is it here somewhere? Under services, can you believe it? It's under services, so there's show list. So copy this guy as well. Boom. Now that should go away. Define section. What's that? So if I rebuild again, what will happen? So many times you have to rebuild. "28 errors, what?" Index model could not be found. I see. I don't think you are allowed to put razor. Should have it in a function, I would say. That's going to be an interesting refactor. Well, technically, I could just hopefully copy this. Can all these, oh, there's more scripts here I need to kill. Actually, sections are also not allowed. Let's move all this stuff out. Oh. I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's see. Go to app 1. You have imports. You have functions. I'm curious again, how is it solved? Layouts, let's see what they say. So we create different components. Okay, fair enough. So in our case, let's just go back here and go do a .NET new Razor components. Oh gosh, no, cancel. There. Let's do that. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's just see the pages. Okay, so it's interesting because the page, it's still a HTML page. We need this guy still. So we need still an HTML page that boots up, alright? Then we have components. It inherits from layout component base. That's interesting. What will happen if I do that? Will I have less errors or more errors? Okay, so that's that. You just render the components. Okay, that's interesting. Our index. So this was our index. I don't think I'm allowed to even do this. Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to do this actually. So let's just scan everything and make something work. Boom, boom, boom. There's so many red going on here. Layout, is that a thing? It's not layout bound, so nope. I don't even think I have a page. So let's see. This needs to be a component on its own. I would say. Pre-content. What does that mean? Pre-content. That's a header. The jumbo. Right. So that's the okay. I see what's going on here. We need to refactor this whole thing in a Razor component of itself. So what I'll do is I'll just oh, the browse with, oops, wrong button. I'll just go and add a new item. Just a component here. Not even bind. Oops. Then we'll just copy one that's there already and call this main, or what do we call it? Let's call it Jumbotron. Jumbotron. Yeah. And that one's out there, and that one can be pasted here. Paste. Okay, I don't know what it's moaning about, but fine. Okay. Move that to shade though, for some reason. Alright, we have got that. Now this is interesting because the model there's no concept of model here. So I can actually say Jumbotron and then give it values, I think, or something. Because how do you give a how do you actually give a model? I've got no idea. It's a different way of thinking. On air has, I wonder, if we say functions, is there a notion of properties here or not really? Let's see what one of these options is on air. Get and set. Is that even a thing? Yeah, it's supposed to work, but it's not working. Why is it not lighting up? now it's lighting up, cool. So is on air. Okay, so it says it's already existing in the current context. How? Oh, okay, cool, sorry. That's much better. Okay, so that's is on air. I go here. Do I now get how do I bind properties now then? Okay, so can I say I have no idea. So yeah, I can do this, but I don't know how this works. So let's see how we can build this thing not to break. Okay, so this is basically so let's say I have a just maybe Candice for now. Like for now that. And if I say is on air and we call this is on air. Right, so that's a legitimate thing. How do I bind to that thing? So do I go bind is on binds provided expression. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Populates the specified field or property with a reference to the element or component. I've got no idea. Let's Google it. Razor components. There we go. Okay. The parameter, that's cool. That is cool, so you just say parameter. So you can go parameter like that. Parameter. Now I was able to do is on air. True. Right, is that a thing? Hopefully that's building. So it's still got 14. That's the main layout. So let's just quickly go back to the main layout. I probably can get rid of some of these things, right? So I think you said this is just body. Yeah. This is a section. Can you do that? No, I can't do that. So that needs to be canned. This whole thing actually needs to be canned. And that one needs to be canned. Let's do that. What's happening here? Why is this not working? Fine. Is that valid? Okay, so now let's pull this again and see. And see where we are. We've got a success. Let's see. I'm very interested to see if this will actually work. It's harder than I thought it would have been. It's a different mindset doing MVC, Razor pages or Razor components. Things are just different, you know. So while that's running, and I have a blank screen. I wonder why. Root, I cannot find a component with a route for blank. Okay. That is quite something, I would say. That's client path. Okay, so this was this body. Okay, so still we need that. We still need a page that has that, right? So let's see. If everything wasn't so slow, it would have been great, you know. It's like so slow. What's it doing? What's this thing doing? Nobody knows. Try again. No, this thing does not want to start up. Maybe it's starting, but it's not really doing anything. Let's say .NET run. Yes, something is happening here. Furthermore, nothing is working. This thing is not running, not working, so I expect it to work. Can it be this thing that's messing up everything? Okay, that works. That runs. It's a blank screen. Well, it gives a can provide value key for okay. Valid point. You can just steal that from the startup here. Gosh. Could be these things, I think. These things. We need app start, and we need YouTube's show service, simple mapper, deployment environment. We need application insights, blah blah blah, file system, that one, Azure storage. All these guys will move into the services folder. Okay, so that should go away in a sec. And then this should be using options. That should be using. Okay. Let's pass in configuration here, add a property called configuration, and then application inside service options. That's interesting. So we need to have a model. What? Where are the options? Oh, application insights. Service options. Well, that's what we have. do that like that and see what happens. That's now calling into the app insights thing. And this thing is also needing more dependencies, most probably. And I think, yeah, that should go definitely. This whole thing should go. Always wanted to do this. Kill the task runner, because that is so much stuff. Gulp file. Let's get rid of this gulp file. Thank you very much. Don't wanna do anything further with the gulp file. Okay, I'm not gonna include that then. App start. Cache. Where do I find this? Cached web root file provider. That is an app start. Is that a .netism? It's a cached web, it's a service. Can you believe it? Okay, that kind of works. Now we need to have Windows Azure storage and blob storage. I suppose we can just grab the things here, right? So okay, so that should work. I wonder if Jeff is online yet. Let's see. Nope. Okay, anyway. So what's here? Platform abstractions does not exist. Do I need this? Google cannot be found. Really? Of course it can be found. Timing. Is that timing service or something? What is timing? That's a study class. Look at that. Timing is, yeah, so let's just also stick that in there. And platform services, I have no idea what that is. think I'm actually gonna not use this, because this is actually annoying. Chuck that out, don't need that now. That should work now, come on. Yes, we've got succeed. And will this work now if I run it? That's the different question. So hopefully it comes past the first screen. Breaks. So it tries to resolve a service now. Oh my gosh, that is typical. Cached web root file provider. Add cached web root. Oh, that is interesting. It's probably extension, right? So nope. Where does this come from then? That's better music. Can you believe it? Service extensions. Copy this also through to there. That should light up now in a sec. Now this should build and we should get something. Another one. We can just copy the whole thing, right? Because I don't want to copy stuff that's not needed. But yeah, yet again, it's painful. And that works. got a dock type, which is amazing. So let's see what the problem was here. So we have layout, dock type, is that even a thing, the layout? No, you don't have to, because it's I guess cool. Okay, so you don't really have to specify all this other crappy stuff. I suppose. Okay. Let's can that. Okay, now I want this to work. Look, it's actually a property. Is on air. Look, how cool is that? True. So you pass in the properties like that, so still got dock type HTML. What's the point? It's not working properly. It's not what I want. So if we just get something working, it'll be fine. So this is there actually an error? Let's see. Okay, so WebSocket closed. Nope. Should I rebuild it maybe? I've got no idea. Is on air true. Great. So that works. So, okay, now to another test. what happens if we say here functions make a private bool state something, and do we make a button bind on click, or on click can it be? Can on click is the opposite of state. Wait a minute, so state so if we put state in there and on click, how does the clicks work here? I can easily check here. Fancy. So it's just a void. Wait. Do click. Okay, so here we can say do click. I forgot the at. Then I can say state equals not state. So now that's interesting. So I have a button that I bind to click. Okay, let's see if that happens. Learning quite a lot from Blazor or server-side Blazor, or call it your server-side Razor components. Cool. And it's working perfectly. Okay, this is what I want. True, false, true, false, true, false. Okay, great. So now that is working. So I wonder, next test, can we pass in a complex object? So is it needed? Okay, so that one is there, and if we go to the index page, I've got all these things that needs to be refactored into a thingy again. Paste that guy in there. That guy can go away. Great, so C. Caches can go away. Okay, so what do we have here? Next show details, next show date UTCC. So if we have something like prop date time, is it called? I can actually just copy these things, right? So that should be fine, right? I can get rid of this model. Oh, so wrong one. Next show scheduled, so let's go there. Live show embed URL. I suppose that's a parameter, right? So is on air. Admin message. Okay. So many rules. That can't be a parameter though. Has has admin message. Is live show embedded. We'll refactor these things later. Okay, and then live show HTML. Okay, so we've got that now. Okay, that is fine. How's this populated from the start? Show service. Okay, so when this loads up, things happen. How do you... So on load, how does this work? It doesn't have anything. Fetch data maybe. I need that. Something like that, right? So copy that and put that in there. Okay, then a lot of things will break. So live show details. It's a live show details injectable, I believe. And then we have maybe you inject the show. We need this guy. The show service. Inject. This is like a view start, blah blah blah. I need probably. Let's do that and see if that goes away. That does not go away. Maybe namespace. Or both. I see. So, but what is the thing now? View imports. How can this work then? Because okay, I see. That was rather painful. We need an object mapper. And app settings. Must be a way of doing a generic import or something. That's dot value. Okay, so user, that's the next thing. How do you... Let's leave that out for now. That's a complication we don't need in our life, right? At least not now. Okay, that is rebuilding, which is fine. Okay, now we will need to see if this thing is doing what I suppose it needs to do. Still gotta click, but the click is, whole thing is broken. Okay, now I need to give it parameters, most probably, yeah. Okay, so what do we need to give it? Admin message, no. Live show HTML. So let's go to the previous one, or the actual one. Stcast.nl. Let's see. This thing does not update because it needs to be rebuilt every time. We've got something. Cool. So it's not rendering. Because images does not exist. Okay, great. So just need to quickly port. I suppose what's in here. These two, I would say. Let's see if this works. I hope it works, because if it does not work, I don't know. Cool. Got some something going on. Getting there. These things obviously won't work because it's all a hoax. 5, that will break. Okay, that also, and that also, that also. Okay, so that works. My image is not working. I think that's minor details, right? I see. Okay. Here to refresh, it should. Cool. Does not do anything. But if I run this on IIS, maybe that will be better. Yes, trust all the certificates. Trust him, trust him, trust him. It's weird because it's supposed to give me an image. It does not give me an image. Still there, so you see if I rebuild it, which I've done, it looks like it needs to compile. Looks like it needs to compile the Razor in order for it to actually work. But it's not the case. Well, let's see. Maybe there was a cached option or something. No, still not. It's not that. What can be the problem? Still not working, I think. Why is this a problem now? It's very weird. So if we say 1, Okay. That's a bit weird. I wonder why that is not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's also a bit silly. Should restart the process. Why is that image not showing up? It's falling back to the previous version. Was it? Yeah. It's falling back to the previous version for some reason. I have no idea why. So running it over good old .NET Core would say it should work. Still not. Yeah, obviously because that. See, the path here is not right. It's like images stncast logo.png. But here I specify it to say, oh, okay, wrong one. My bad. Modifying the wrong one. But he should find that, right? So says if all is well, if all are well, Control F5, I should be getting the images now. Boom. Okay, with my whatever this is. So I can quickly steal if you're online, yeah. Let me see if I can get the YouTube thing going quickly. Okay, so this is me now live on YouTube. If my connection will permit it. I'm just gonna stop it. Right, so what we'll do is a share button there, and then somewhere you can go embed. And I'm not sure if you take the whole take that, right, and you just copy it. Okay, so if I go back here to my index eraser and I say a live show embed URL, was that, do a quick rebuild. Quite silly that I have to do a rebuild, you know, because it should do it automatically. Now we go back to my localhost thing that's, I think, not running anymore, or is it? It's closed. Let's run this guy. Then I should see that component popping up, which is quite cool. Okay, so this is starting to get shape. Yep, that's not supposed to happen. Okay, so what else do we have here? So that's the Jumbotron. It will get it from there. Let's quickly build in the menu. So we can make a menu also a component. There's no nice way of doing this except for copying and pasting something else. What do I call this? Navbar. Let's just call it nav. Let's call it navbar. Let's leave it navbar. Cut. Cool. Let's take that in for now. To add that out. For now, at least. Then I can say, nav menu. Okay, so that's the nav menu. See how we can get that thing a bit out of there. Right. If we can get the show list listed, show previous shows, show more, show URL. Okay, so this is part of the Are you actually allowed to have partial views in let's see. Where's my functions? There we go. So I wanna Load that guy in there. So many things is going miss now. Show previous shows. So let's call this private bool. That. Lowercase that, and then take that off like that. It looks like you can do a partial. Shows more. Shows URL. Okay, well, where is that coming from? Private string. We'll do that. Okay. And then we also have a previous shows. And I think previous shows is a list of shows. And show we need to include the models. Previous shows, previous shows. This is a bool, what? Okay, that is fine. No squigglies. So what happened here was when this guy loads up, I get my show list and I map it. That's already been not. Put that in there, take that out there, and I would need my mapper again. And the show service most probably. Okay, so that's using this show service. So now I need the user. Get recorded shows async. Is it possible to inherit from a page? Layout component base. That's component base. I have no idea. will happen if I say null? And playlist, what playlist? Okay, so it's that one. And yet again I need to get app settings. Yet again I need to get app settings somewhere. This one. Jumping around all over the show. It's fun. Okay. I doubt this will work though. It's not really doing anything. One way to find out is just Control F5. Nope. No idea. I know there are two playlist caches, but the thing is, I'm not sure if I'm doing something right here or wrong, but it. Do you think I can debug this somehow? Probably not. Ah, you know what I've missed? That's a missed. But that's not a Jumbotron. No, that's not what I want. Sorry. Thought I missed something important. I mapped the show list, which is fine. You need to disable this live cast, otherwise the videos list is not there. I don't understand what you say there. Oh, okay, but that's weird because why is it that previously we had something playing with previous shows? That's it was just as an example. Yeah, there is a list. I'll show you. say you're hosting this one. Thank you. And if we say boom, save. Okay, that should be then. And if we go back to HDNcast, see we have a preview, and we have the previous recorded shows. There's Martin. Hey hey. So I have no idea why this is not showing up. Disable cache. I thought they were not showing when live. There they are. This might be a problem. Partial. I don't have that partial here. So it's looping, so I can go, for instance, say label. The other light just went off. I'm modifying the wrong file again. Let's say show, I don't know, name, title. No, I don't think my cache is empty. I think I'm gonna first see. I don't think I have this partial. This partial view does not exist in my project. So if it exists, I'm very interested to see if partial views are supported. Probably have to run this guy again. It seems quicker for some reason. Guess there's nothing happening at all. No magic properties were found between the types. Okay, that's I don't know what message that is. Let's try that again. Not looking promising. Unhandled exception. No matching properties were found between types. No matching properties. What the fluff? I see. It's definitely rendering. So it's rendering the index Razor page, not. I'm not sure anymore. photos rendering up until that point. I see, okay. This mapper does something freaky. This is like, well, who did this? Simple mapper. Overcomplicating things, man. I don't know who did that. Fine. This looks much better, I would say. Because the mapping didn't, I think a mapping threw an error. Let's see. Still hello. No error this time. Okay, probably because my user is null. I see. Okay, so this is also one of the things I need from my settings. It's my YouTube key, which is in here somewhere, but that I don't want to expose now. But it should still give me these items. Because will this work if I say will this work? Will it go into my browser? It should, right, because it's back end. Yeah, that works. There should be 4 items. And then it just breaks. There is 4 items. Okay. So I definitely have previous shows. If show previous shows. Why? Can you believe it? It's so annoying. Now we will get something. We should get at least 4. Because it's now actually loading, otherwise I don't know, that check is silly. I mean, the collection won't even enumerate. There we go, that's much better. Okay, so that renders that labels, so that means I need to see if I can get the partials chucked in there. YouTube show partial, because this could be a component in its own, right? So let's call this thumbnail. Getting quite a hang of this eraser components. So we would need URI, thumbnail, URI, as title, and all those things we get from the show. We could pass in a show. And he doesn't complain about this. Does that mean I can do something like cool? No, it's not. Is it? Nope. Can't do that, right? So let's maybe say call this model, I don't know. Okay, so that's a parameter, right? I'll change it now if it doesn't work. Control F5 and see what happens, or see what breaks, in my case. We've got thumbnails. Cool, so that works. All right. So we can make that a main. Yeah, that is a component. Actually, the whole thing should be a component. There should only be. Let's call this item. And then so one day mapper Map is doing something weird. That's item. Okay. Take this other one out. Okay, so it's starting to look like something. Cool. Now future shows, and you have your I would still split this thing up a bit. So we have this one can go. So what's inside the Jumbotron? It's here, it's these containers thingy. So I think this should be on the layout, right? Like that. Because this should not be part of the part of the thing. See, much better. The only thing is now that Jumbotron is supposed to be inside of that thingy. Okay, So what do they say about layouts? Eventually. Okay, well. Excuse me, I'm a bit tired. What have we now? So the index should actually have its own layout, right? Or I see. So here even here it needs to be away. Like so. Nav menu. It's not working. suppose I can still make use of sections, right? Or not? Okay. Well, for now, I think this is fine. It's a quick F5. It's sort of getting there, you know, converted to Razor components. Let's just maybe undo something that I've. That should be there. So if I hit F5, do I need to rebuild it now again? Probably. Where is it now? Or actually, let's see. Okay, so for now I'm gonna leave it like it is, because some of these things need to be refactored still. But yeah. I think it's okay. It could be a little pet project that we do. Let's check the stuff in. $206 changes. Okay, so that's my new branch. Pushing it out. Okay guys, so we are basically 2 minutes away from a 3-hour stream. Thank you so much for joining me again. It was awesome having a few friends coding with me tonight. So just to quickly recap what we've done, we've taken our SDNcast website, normal Razor Pages website, and we tried to sort of convert it into a server-side Razor Components application that's ultimately a server-side spa kind of thing working. But nevertheless, that's 3 hours of productivity. It was great. We had some technical issues like normal, and I would like to say thank you guys for joining, and we will speak to you again soon. So adios until next time.